Hi, you're listening to When Isabel Met Aviva, a podcast about rom-coms, female-driven screenwriting, and how to break into the entertainment industry. I'm Isabel.
And I'm Aviva.
And thanks for listening to our podcast.
We are back. Hi, Isabel.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it is still morning.
Yeah, I am freezing over here. We have officially entered fall / well, I guess it is fall. It's like LA fall.
Yeah.
And I am very much a California baby. I think it's freezing right now and it's 70 degrees.
I'm about to ask him what's an LA fall.
That's funny. I think too, because I'm in Santa Monica, it's colder. So maybe that just to make people not feel like I'm super insane. But I love it though, because we had a really rainy week kind of this week. And that was super nice to wake up to the sound of rain and feel Pacific Northwest vibes, but at the beach. But yeah, no, it's definitely really cold here, in my opinion.
And you're having a running era, it looks like, on social media.
Back in my running era. I got into distance running when I was in college, and I ran the Boston Marathon in 2012, but I hadn't really run since. The last time I ran a half marathon was in 2015. So it's been 10 years since I've run that distance, and it feels really good. I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of all my friends who have started doing it too. And yeah, I've always wanted to watch that Brittany Runs a Marathon movie, but I've never actually seen it. So is it a rom-com? Is it have a romantic
I think
story
it steers
to it?
more comedy, but there is a romance that I can't remember how she meets the guy, but there is a love interest. I recommend that movie. But there really aren't that many running movies that I can think about in the rom-com sense.
I know when we were talking about that, I was just there's never been there's always a soccer rom-com. There's always there's love and basketball.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Blake Lively's character runs.
Has a soccer girl in it.
True soccer.
I was thinking more Bend It Like Beckham and She's the Man are kind of soccer themed. Obviously Blue Crush is surfing.
You could write the next running movie, because I feel I know so many runners. I mean, obviously it's a really popular physical exercise.
It's, part of why I've been back in it is because it is really good it is therapeutic. It is talked about as one of the best things you can do for anxiety, for depression, for PTSD symptoms. And now, especially when you get into the longer distances, I really see what they're talking about, because it's all about the rhythm of your breathing and how that mimics how when you're running, it mimics the symptoms you experience when you're having an anxiety attack or when you're experiencing PTSD, and it helps your body to learn how to move through it and how to register oh, just because my blood pressure is rising and I'm getting stressed, it doesn't necessarily mean a really bad thing. It's it's also exercise. And so I've been noticing how I've been starting to feel better because I've been processing things while I'm running, and I've kind of been seeing that therapeutic element to it. And I now that I'm thinking of it too, it is kind of surprising that there haven't been more rom-com themed movies about running, because it is such a thing that people turn to when they're dealing with breakups or heartache. And I feel that's always a scene that probably is a trope in a rom-com, right? Is the girl goes running
and she's crying, and it's a catharsis.
Yeah,
totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. And running clubs also, I'm not in the running world, but I have a good friend who's also just obsessed with running. And she's in a running club. She makes friends. I've always joked that she could meet her love in a running club.
Yeah.
I feel that'd be but your pace apparently has to match. There's a lot to think about.
The running world is such a
it's a foreign land for me, but but that's awesome that you've been running. And I do feel I was thinking when you're talking about running, also I feel rom-com characters go on a lot of long walks as well. I'm thinking more in Pride and Prejudice, where she's I like to walk. I don't know, I feel that's also and The Lucky One with Zac Efron, he's always how he walks across the country or something. So there's a lot of trauma, walking, running. There
that
needs to be
movie
more.
Was so good. I have to say that movie, and what's the one called with the boat?
that he's in? Oh, Charlie St. Cloud.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Yeah.
I was so surprised by both of those movies when I watched them. Like, they both made me cry. And like Charlie St. Cloud has such a good twist. Like, I remember when I watched those two movies when I was like researching him for that script, that I was like, wait, like these movies are good. Like,
yeah.
He's really good at them.
No, I mean, I've probably talked about this on the show. The Lucky One is probably one of my top 3 Zac Efron projects. And I've seen The Lucky One many times. You know, it's part of the Nicholas Sparks universe, and I think it's better than The Notebook, which is a very hot take, maybe. I don't
Wow, that is a hot take.
I know.
Honestly, I don't know. I think they're pretty different.
They're different, but I definitely watch The Lucky One way more than The Notebook, and I watch
I'll watch both of those and see.
I could watch we could do a whole episode on Nicholas Sparks, but definitely The Lucky One is fantastic. So I highly recommend.
I think my hot take is that I don't really like Ryan Gosling. So I think I do lean more towards The Lucky One because of Zach. But I do really love Rachel McAdams. So that's why at first I was like, oh my God, but like, you know, what is like The Notebook? Like, it's Rachel McAdams. But then I'm like, I just don't really love Ryan Gosling's acting, and like I don't find him super attractive. So that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe actually you're right. Maybe The Lucky One is better. Wow, this is a hot take.
Stir the pot here, but I agree.
We should make that like our Valentine's Day episode next year. Like, let's watch both of them.
I think The Notebook, we should introduce our guest in a second, but I could go on about this. I don't think The Notebook is that great, but let's leave it there, I guess.
It's a little, I do remember watching it recently and feeling a little bit like he's a little pushy.
He's toxic, but we can review the whole thing. Toxic. I find him very problematic. Zac Efron, and I can't remember his character in The Lucky One, but like his name. Do you remember? But he was so good. He plays piano. He lifts heavy dog food bags. He has a really sweet dog. He's so genuine. He's just the cutest character.
Does he run in that too? Or maybe he runs in Charlie St. Cloud. I feel like he runs in one of these movies. He just walks
a lot. He's like, I walked across the country to find this woman with the photo. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if she runs. She's a runner.
Okay, I was gonna say somebody runs in that movie.
She ran in college, like, you know, whatever they call it, semi-professionally or whatever. She was on track. Yeah, great film.
Because our last episode was with Sofia Alvarez and we talked about Sarah Dessen novels. The reason why one of my favorite Sarah Dessen novels is The Truth About Forever is because she's a runner in it. And so actually, I feel like I am gonna, like, I always wanted to see that movie or that book as a movie. So maybe I will reach out to Sarah Dessen because she, like, her whole thing is that she has a traumatic experience running because like her and her dad used to run together and then he dies while he's running. And so like, it's all about her journey kind of coming back into running too. And so now I'm like, maybe that's the running rom-com I'm gonna write.
So quickly, we just want to say that we're launching merch through the podcast. And we've been wanting to do this for a while. And so should I just show? I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I'm wearing it.
Okay. It's a crop top.
It's so cute. I love the font.
Okay, so it says, "This is our meet cute." So that's our first launch, and it's a crop top. It's 100% cotton. What else is there? It's pink. If you guys are just listening, it's bubblegum pink.
White font.
We've just wanted rom-com. We don't feel like there's great rom-com merch out there, so we wanted to create something like that.
We've been thinking about this for a while, and like there are. I wish I was wearing it yesterday, so unfortunately it's in my laundry. But I love that sweatshirt so much that says "The Shop Around the Corner" on it that we got from. I don't think that company exists anymore.
Good Time Go. Wait, what are they called? Good Time Go. No,
they don't. They closed.
Yeah, I think they closed.
Yeah, and I think when we've thought about making rom-com merch before, we thought about that a lot. That like, you know, some of those phrases might be copyrighted or like some like, you know, that all like I love all that stuff. Like seeing our favorite quotes and stuff on shirts, but we kind of got worried about like, you know, that's not, you know, we don't want to be hit with like copyright things in the future. Like maybe that's part of why like a merch company like this can't necessarily do well. So then we just started thinking like, what if we made rom-com merch that's just sort of like actually like about the rom-com and sort of like those elements of the rom-com. And so we were kind of like spitballing all these ideas. And I think the first one that we really loved, right, was that this is our meet cute.
Yeah, I love it because it's kind of, in theory, I feel like it could open conversation with those around you, in theory, because I think if someone were wearing that, I actually would be like, oh my gosh, I love your shirt, or like maybe it would result in a meet cute.
Exactly. So I think that's why it's so like cute, because it's like it really could lead to a meet cute with the right person, right? Or if I saw a girl wearing a shirt like this, or a guy, I would totally go up to them and be like, yo, where'd you get that shirt? It's so cute.
Yeah. So definitely, we'll be sharing more information about how to order it, and we're going to put it on our website and everything. And we'd love to do other iterations of it, and we have so many slogan ideas, but for now, I'm just trying to show off the shirt. I have to like stand up a little more, but it's really cute, and we'll talk about it more in future episodes, and we should welcome our guest, but excited about the launch of that. Today we are going back to OG Twitter again. I think that's how I met Paulina. We're chatting with Paulina Warda today, and let's just have her introduce herself. But she is a screenwriter, and she has kind of a marketing, branding, social media background, and she also recently launched her own production company and podcast as well. So let's just talk to her about that. Paulina's here with us, OG Twitter friend.
I was gonna ask, have you guys ever met before?
No.
Talked online.
Yeah. It was probably during the pandemic when we connected. Do you remember it's all a blur now, like how we specifically...
I haven't been on it that much. Screenwriting Twitter. I feel like people have left the platform. It was really strong during lockdown, and then like right after when things slowly started opening back up, people were like, okay, it's kind of safe to go back on the platform now. But honestly, I haven't been on it in a while.
Are you on Bluesky? Are we?
I am, but again, like it only hit like that peak of when everyone was joining and everyone was on it, and then now I'm just like, okay, well, screenwriting
it's
Twitter.
So sad how that got ruined.
I know.
Literally. I wonder if there's gonna be like another platform we can do that on. Like maybe like TikTok, like Instagram. I feel like is slowly starting.
Threads. Yeah. But to just start, you're a screenwriter. I know that. And you launched a production company, and I know you launched a podcast. So you want to do your little introduction?
Sure. Well, I would say I'm sort of a new writer. Like I haven't published anything, like nothing has been bought. Like I sort of write for fun. And then slowly and surely when I started writing, I realized that most of my characters were Polish because I'm Polish American. So I was like, okay, like maybe there's something I can do with that. And then like the business side of the industry really overwhelmed me. I was like, how do I even start? Like nobody knows who I am. Like how do I be like, hi, here's my script. So then I was like, I'm just going to take like matters into my own hands, because I slowly started realizing the industry is so like, it changes so quickly, and like it's very unstable at the moment. So I was like, what can I do to have some sort of control over this? And so I was like, okay, what if I just like start my own production company? And I've done a podcast before, so I was like, what if it just starts off audio? Like I know how the audio business is a little bit. I, again, have control issues. So I was like, I guess control it. It's not like in the hands of somebody else. And that's sort of how that started. Currently have a podcast out called Behind the Murals, which it spotlights Polish and Polish American like creators, writers, entrepreneurs, anything like that. So sort of being like that gateway to get people's names out there. I don't know what else.
That's so cool.
That is really cool. And you also have, I know we've texted about this, like a background in marketing and social media, which I'm interested in as well, kind of trying to monetize storytelling in a different way. Right. So can you talk about that?
I fell into marketing very weirdly. So I studied psychology in college. So I was actually gonna be an OT. was studying to be an OT, got accepted to NYU, was going to go to grad school. Then COVID happened and lockdown happened. So the program was like, we don't really know what to do. OT is very hands-on of type of learning, and even as a career. So they were like, we're going to extend the program to be, instead of like 2 years, like 3.5. I'm like, I can't, 3.5 years. I was like, I don't know, like, what do I do? And at that point I started writing a little bit, and the woman that I was nannying at the time started writing her own book. It was like a self-published memoir type book, and she was like, do you want to be my writer's assistant, because I know you write? And I was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, also, like, marketing, can you do that? I said, I could try. And basically just started like Googling things. And it's such a different landscape. She also didn't want to do anything social media. And I have been chronically online my whole life. Like, I don't know any, like, a life without scrolling on TikTok for 7 hours, or like whatever the case is. Before it used to be Tumblr, you know? So that was very interesting. And then learning through that, that's sort of how I got into just marketing in general and just having ideas. And then I went to an agency, found a job at an agency to do social media marketing, but it was a, like, I would call it like an adult internship. Like, it was only like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and it was kind of like a trial period of like, can you make content? And I'm like, I guess I'll learn, like, and I never did it before. And I was like, I never filmed myself making videos, or like, let alone content for brands, like, not even for myself. Like, I never even opened up TikTok before I started marketing, which was wild. And so then I got the job full time and just worked in social media marketing, and then I jumped through agency to agency, but now I freelance. So I have like my own clients. I've worked with several brands all throughout, like, ranging through like beauty to like B2B to B2C, and then now I do a little bit of that, but also small businesses. I love working for small businesses and highlighting community and businesses around the community to help it. So yeah, and then that sort of has helped in terms of putting my name out there as a writer and just as a person, and it's been super fun.
That's cool.
What kind of movies do you like to write, or like what kind of projects?
So I primarily write TV pilots. I don't write movies. But now I shifted mediums with the audio production. I write audio fiction or audio dramas. I sort of base it the same way as a TV pilot, but through sound instead of visuals. So it's a completely different way. And most, I would say, audio dramas are about like 30 minutes. So any like competitions, they're like only 30 pages max. And I'm like, I write dramas. So like hour-long dramas. I'm like, how can I make a drama 30 minutes? Like, what? To me, I couldn't. That's why I stopped. Like, I couldn't write comedy because I'm like, it's too fast. Like, I like the slowness of a drama, and like, you're, you know, like the first act, you're like, ooh, and then the second act, you're slowly starting and building it up. But yeah, so that's like the main difference.
That's really cool. I don't actually think I know anything about what you're talking about, the audio drama. So is that like a new?
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm so curious because I love like, I feel like I've just started to really get into like listening to audiobooks because I'm such a like physical book reader. And so now lately I've been listening to audiobooks more, and I'm just kind of curious, like, what, if you could like maybe expand on like what you're talking about and these kind of like competitions and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I think to people it's different. Like, I don't know if I'm even describing it correctly, but think of it as an audiobook but with like sound, and it's not like a sometimes it depends on the script if there is a narrator or not, but like it's like a TV show but in an audiobook form. Cool. And that's sort of how I write it. If you love audiobooks, so do I, but have you heard of the series called like Fourth Wing?
Yes, yeah.
You need to read it. I actually have that book right
I know.
there.
I was gonna say, I feel like everyone keeps talking about this.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you want to read it like that or like read it first and then listen to it, but they have a graphic audio version. So they basically turn the book and the audiobook into like with more sounds. Like, it's not word for word or line for line from a book. It's like, you know how in books there's like sentences and lines of just setting and emotion and stuff like that, whereas they sort of get rid of that in the graphic novel, but it's literally like you're listening to it as a movie, and there's like sound and it's pretty cool, and like different characters, different, you know, voices, so you really like immerse yourself into it.
That's cool.
So that's how I would describe it. It's like actually really interesting because, of course, like I started writing TV and it's very visual, whereas like sound, you know, you can't show it, you can't like write lines, so like you have to tell it, but you tell it through the medium of sound. So like a sound effect of like a wing, like, you know, whatever, and whatever the case is. But yeah, I think that's the main sort of difference for me.
Yeah, it reminds me of like old time radio too. Like, like I don't know what decade we're talking about, the 40s. I don't know when they had like where they play all these sound effects like during the reading. Kind of like well, Isabel and I we just did our table read for her script, and you added sounds, right?
I added just like the songs, not necessarily like sounds, but I'm not that great of an editor. But it is making me think of that like, if I had like a ton of money and like the budget to like have spent a ton of time like editing that really well, like that is like how I originally envisioned it, is like you hear the sound effects and it kind of really feels like you're in the movie of it. But that's really cool. I didn't realize that was like kind of a thing where you can like listen to like a book that way, so I definitely check
it's slowly becoming a new medium people are like trying to get into, especially in the publishing world. But in terms of like myself, I would usually write like original stories and then produce it that sort of same way. But the OG audio drama was like came from radio.
No, I love that. That's cool. And obviously lower production costs, and you could just do it
exactly
your computer, which is
I don't have to wait for everybody to do it. Like, if honestly now we have all these like technology has changed, so we have all these like tools and softwares, like obviously money is still a core problem in production, or like main worry of like how am I going to afford this. But like I edit all my podcasts, you know, like if you get, you know, and there's obviously specialties of people who are video editors or like composers. They usually do all of that, which is nice, but it's pretty cool. Like you get to sort of do it yourself.
I love that energy. It's hard as a screenwriter trying to break in. We talk about this all the time, just waiting for higher ups to be like yes, and then and then it's hard to be kind of powerless.
That's exactly why I started it, because I'm like, I don't have like, you know, I don't want to wait how many years to get like noticed in this one script, and then they buy it and then they never make it, and it's like, you know, it was like way too much. I don't have time. Like I'm just gonna put matters into my own hands and make it, and we'll see what comes from it.
I think those are the people that get noticed. I think I mean, there are a lot of ways to break in, but I think like a lot of the creatives I admire just started producing their own stuff and just taking that initiative, which is hard sometimes as like
it is
more introverted writer sometimes. But
literally no, and it's also like I get it in terms of if you want to take matters into your own hands, cool, but you're just 1%. Like you know, like you do need a team of people if you want it, you know. Help is okay sometimes, and like I get it in terms of just manpower and people helping you try to get this across the finish line, where it's like just you, and I work a full-time job, so it's like it's whatever time I have is whatever time I use doing whatever with, you know. Which makes discipline a lot more harder, but
for sure.
I feel like we're all kind of starting to like feel this now, and it makes me happy to see that like we're all kind of just like, you know what, I'm just gonna like do the thing I want to do, and I'm just gonna like write this thing, do this project, and even not necessarily thinking about it like getting noticed or like helping your career in any way. I think it's also just like being true to ourselves as creatives, to just like let the creative energy out and just like let it turn into whatever it is, and like maybe it's not like exactly as you intended it or like thought it would go, but at least like you got it out and you did it, you started working on it, you started putting it out there.
Literally. And honestly, it gets rid of some of the pressure too. Like there's like I don't feel the need to be perfect. If I can't edit this one thing, like then only I will notice. Like who cares? Like at the end of the day, like whatever. Like nothing's ever truly perfect in that way. And that has been like a learning curve for me too, just being like, when I started this business, I literally am like, I don't even like, I have a loose plan. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I didn't grow up in this industry or like saw that. Like, I don't like, I just sort of like do something. I'm like, hey, like if I made this one little tiny thing, like whatever, like who, it's better than not doing something and having like 70 million scripts that no one's ever gonna read or no one's ever gonna, like it's ever gonna be made. Hanging around instead of just like taking that initiative. And of course I do obviously like understand not all scripts can be made or will be made, but it's nice to know that like there something's being made of it instead of it not being made. I think that's a main problem, is that a lot of people like that want to start their own businesses, they get so scared or like sort of paralyzed, I would say, and so scared of like starting something. Like they need to make sure this is in order, that's in order, and I need to have this done and that's done. I'm like, girl, like you don't need to do all that. Like, why are you writing a 10-page manifesto of like 5 years down? Like, who cares? Like, learn as you go. Like, I think that's what's like amazing about this, is like you learn as you go, and you're not gonna have it all figured out. I don't think anybody ever has it all figured out, and you're just gonna, to me, it's just like a learning process. Like, I also have zero expectations. Like, of course I have dreams and goals, like, but I'm like, I don't expect anything, honestly. Like, whatever shows up and whatever happens, and I'll just go with the flow, really.
Yeah.
I think... Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, just like the term like imperfect action also comes to mind this week. I've been thinking a lot about that just in all aspects of life. Just like, like I think perfectionism can kind of get in the way, or just this like single top tier goal can kind of get in the way of like just making stuff and just like throwing it out there. And we live in such an interesting time of because like what you do, like with social media and we just live in such a time that we don't have to we can just like casually release stuff continuously.
Like we don't need to look perfect in order to make a 5-second video, or like like who cares? Nobody cares. Like literally. And you know how many people tell me all the time, they're like, oh, maybe like if you like put more lighting on your videos. I'm like, yeah, but I don't really like care. Like I don't like, I posted it, 16 people liked it, cool, awesome, love that. Like who cares? Like at least there's something out there, and it can always get better. Like this is just the beginning. Like I think people want to start at 100%. I'm like, no, like leave room for growth. Like you want to be able to grow, and like after finishing whatever project you're doing, like looking back and be like, wow, like that was a journey, like I love, and you figure stuff about yourself, about other people, about like certain projects, like, or maybe the script isn't like what I thought it was going to be, but it taught me X, Y, and Z, and I'll just take what I learned for the next project. And it's like a learning game, not a game. What is it?
Yeah,
it's a learning
game, a learning curve, but also a game.
There we go. Not a game,
No, I love seeing the videos that you post online. I feel like it's so true what you're saying, that it's like I think it's so much better to just create than to just like not do it, because it feels like you're like constricting yourself, you're holding in some sort of like idea that you have. And I feel like I'm just kind of starting to like wake up to that and feel more comfortable with it. And I'm always inspired by like people like you and other like, I don't know, social media influencers that I follow or see, that like, because I agree, it's like we get so in our heads that like every reel we make or everything we post on our story needs to like look so good. And like, like I feel like we read into all that stuff so much more. And it's like, I've been enjoying sort of reframing social media for myself of just like, I don't care. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Like, I'm just posting a lot of this stuff for me to like build myself up and just like, express myself. Like, oh, I have this weird idea for a reel. I'm just going to like test it. Like when we did that like rom-com montage thing the other day, it was just like, I just felt like I had an idea and I'm just going to like make it. And it's like, I'm so here for like other creatives, like kind of opening up to that more, to just be like, it's okay if you post something and it doesn't immediately get like thousands of views and likes and whatever. Like, who cares? Like, just make it. Isn't it better to make it than to just let that be a draft forever, or just like sitting in your brain forever?
It also relates back to like writing too. Like, I think when I think of like the scripts I've written, there's always going to be revisions. It's never like every time I've done a revision, like I'm like, this is perfect, and then you read back and you're like, it's not great, I gotta do another round, and it's like, it's never going to be amazing. Like, and I think also, like, people that work in the business too are so, like, I get it, and I think this is, like, perfectionism meets, like, business and ROI. They get so, like, oh, the first season didn't do great, so we have to cancel the show, or, like, something. I'm like, well, why? Like, let it land somewhere and, like, work it out. Like, if you look at Schitt's Creek, right? The first season of Schitt's Creek, even they agree it wasn't great. They were like, we don't even know what we were doing. We were just writing something. But, like, the network took a chance on that and let it grow. And now Schitt's Creek is, like, a staple show. Everybody knows what Schitt's Creek is, you know? And if you don't, you watch it and you're like, oh my God, this is great, you know? But also even just, like, writing in general, like, whatever I have on the page, it's better that it's on the page than, like, in my head somewhere. Like, that has been a learning curve, because I'm like, I can be better, like, this can be great, and then somebody reads it, it's like, no, this can be this way and that can be done that way. I'm like, I don't care. Like, whatever version it is whatever version it is, you know? Even the people that make the TV shows and whatever's out there, it's like, well, there it is, you know? Like, we can't, I don't know, there's infinite amount of rewrites and revisions that you can do, but nothing will ever be perfect. So, like, accept what you have right now as, like, gold.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's such a like shitty feeling when you see somebody else do the idea that you had, or, like, the thing that you were thinking about, and then you're just like, why didn't I make that reel, or why didn't I post that, or why didn't I finish that story?
It'll just be a whole different POV. Like, I also agree, like, there's so many times I've seen the same video or read the same type of script, but we're all different, so we all bring something unique to the table. And I think that lens of, like, how each person views the world shapes the creative in some shape, way, or form. Like, if you give two artists the same direction and instructions of how to paint a painting, they're both going to paint the painting differently. That doesn't make one better than the other. You gave them the same thing, you know? So, that's sort of how I see it.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I also think, as we were talking about this, and I was thinking about social media and what you do on social media and what we're trying to kind of create on social media as well, I think kind of imperfection is part of, like, our brand. Like, I was thinking about that. And I think, and I also think, you know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about AI, and, you know, that's, like, such a big conversation right now in the art world everywhere. I think I kind of sense that, like, being imperfect is kind of going to be a commodity, dare I say?
No,
because,
literally.
like, because we don't want perfection on screen, because it's like, those are the rom-coms also, not even AI, but just that, like, we get annoyed with on the show, because we're like, it's so aesthetic, but it's like, we don't care. We can't, we want, you know, so. I think there's also a bigger, like, sociology lens of it too, of, like, when we look at actors too, I think with this is Pluto and Aquarius, if anybody here is an astrology person or listening to the astrology person, but I think we're coming back to individuality. Like, back then, like, especially the lens of, like, beauty standards of, like, everyone has to look like a Kardashian in this way and that way, but now we're all like, we're tired of it. And think of, like, I think her name is Amy Lou from she was on, like, Skins, White Lotus. Like, everyone reacted positively because she didn't look like everybody else. And, like, I'm not shaming anybody that wants to go get work done. Like, go do you, right? Like, I'm not, whatever the case is. But I think people want to see that. They don't want to see, you know, like, I don't know. Like, it makes it more real. Like, it does, like, I think it lowers the playing field, because I think a lot of times we look at celebrities as, like, above us. But now we're like, no, they're also human. Like, like, we're at the same playing fields. Like, we can look at that. I don't know. Such an interesting, I can write a thesis statement about this.
Seriously.
No,
but it's so, like, interesting to see that happening. And I think it also comes to beg to differ of, like, being vulnerable, right? I think when we show up, we want to be the best version of ourselves, right? Every single time. We don't want to show the nastier parts of ourselves or the darker parts of ourselves or whatever the case is. Like, and I think, I don't know, I think also just social media, like Instagram, is so curated sometimes, and when I crash out on my Instagram stories, that's when I get the most engagement, because I'm like, I you know, like, like because I'm so real. Like I will show that parts of myself. But I think that's what even like influencers now, people want to see realness. They don't care. Like they want to see if you're being honest, truthful, like that's who they are, you know, instead of just like, hi, my name is da 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 da, you know, like they don't want curation, they want realness, they want to connect. I think that's also another thing too, with everything being on social media nowadays. That's our sort of main way of connection, weirdly enough. I mean, I think slowly and surely we're going to start going outside if we have enough like third spaces and places to go. And that's again another subsection. But yeah, people want to connect with people who are real. Like we don't want to see that anymore. We're bored. Like
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I don't really follow any like celebrity or like big influencers or anything anymore. I really only follow people I actually know, or like people that are kind of like, like not like I can't. Anytime I see something like that on Instagram, if it's too like perfect and like, well, let me tell you all this, I'm just like, I'm like, no, I want the like,
want to hear it.
Yeah, I love coming across
with you 4 months ago when you were and you know, like that's why I think people love like Keke Palmer now. You know, like she's always been authentically herself and she never shied away from that. But now people are highlighting it more. Like she's normal, or like Renee Rapp, like people who aren't press trained, we gravitate towards that. Like we look for ourselves in the other person. So like we sort of like, it's the same thing when we read scripts or watch a TV show, we like put ourselves in that character's shoes. And unfortunately celebrities that are like walking the red carpet, like we're playing characters right now. If you don't even like, you know what I mean? Like we are being recorded. There's nothing natural about being recorded. And that way. It's not like I'm on the couch like chilling, you know?
I'm being real right now. I keep looking at this pimple I got on my head. It's just like, God, I look like a mess.
I couldn't even tell.
My hair's off to the side. I have this big ass pimple.
I literally could not even like tell. So like our own insecurities of like people. So we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? Like, free the pimple, you know? Like
free the pimple. I'm curious a little, like, if we could go back a little bit more to your like what you do for like on social media for brands, or if you have like a favorite campaign or anything that you would want to highlight. Like I'm just really curious genuinely how it works, like if a brand's like approached you and then you're like, I'll make this Reels series, or like how does that work?
I mean, it depends. So when I worked in agency, so like the agency would hire me and I worked within that agency, and that agency would have different clients, and then you know there's like CMOs and like creative directors and assistant directors, like people that like curate these things. And then they start noticing like, okay, this is the type of like content creator you are, but you will fit more of like this type of brand. And sometimes you go on a brand at an agency and it's like not your vibe. Like you're like, what is this? Like I don't want to create for you. This is weird. Like I don't know what to do. And you try your best, and then slowly and surely, like one of the best things of like indicators of like success in social media is numbers and like engagement rates and things like that. And you can easily tell that yourself. Like you look at a video and it goes like viral, then you're like, oh, okay, I did a good job, or like whatever the case is, or like I resonated with somebody, or this piece worked with that brand and whatever. But now as a freelancer, it's mostly them contacting me, or like sometimes, you know, business goes both ways. So like I reach out to them. I had left my first agency for another agency for like more growth opportunities and just like experiencing what it's like being at another agency and operating it. Then I was laid off around Christmas. Live, laugh, love. Only worked there for like 4 months. It was amazing. And then during all that too, I was freelancing for like small businesses. I was like, how can I actually like make the things that I actually want to make for like businesses instead of brands, even though they're kind of the same, but they're very different, and it's very local. So one of my other clients is a bookstore. I love the little bookstore.
Cute.
And I have a lot more like, I would say, creative control with brands. There's of course like $1 million, you know, in the mix, and there's stakeholders and people aligning. There's like feedback notes you have to address, whereas like in my bookstore, I just like make whatever I want to make and they trust me to make it. They're like, we don't know what you're doing. Whereas like in a business or an agency, like that's everyone's career, you know? So they all know what they're doing essentially. But it has taught me like notes and like accepting feedback or how, and I think being a writer has also helped in that way of you're always getting notes, you're always getting feedback. It's like, okay, what is the note underneath the note? Like, what are they saying? How can I communicate to better understand what this person is saying if it's not in written format? Right, like all that has been super helpful. Even like giving feedback has been really helpful because, you know, as a writer, sometimes people are like, can you read my script and let me know what you think? And like, you're like, oh my god, yeah, I would love to read it. Like, but then you also, it's a very fine balance because this is someone's like precious baby, you know, like you don't want to disrupt it in any way and being super like, this is horrible, which I've gotten, like, your character's a bitch, this is the most horrible script I've ever read. And I'm like, whoa, like, relax. Like, yeah, you want to tell me anything like good about this script? Like, I'm like, okay, awesome. But then like I've learned to like laugh those off because like clearly like I know my script isn't horrible, you know, like that's where like self-esteem and confidence comes into play. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. I love working for myself. I, you know, again, make my own hours, and there's pros and cons to like a full-time salary position versus like working for yourself, but I think I have more creative control, I would say. Like, yes, there's always going to be like working with other people, that dynamic always comes up. But yeah, I think that's sort of the main difference. I hope I answered your question, or like it's very confusing sometimes to like answer marketing things, but yeah.
Yeah, so are you making video campaigns for them? Is that
not
what
like
you're doing?
It depends. So like again, like every company is different. So usually every quarter there is a campaign, or every 2 quarters, or sometimes they do a yearly campaign, right? Like think like Dove, right? They had that one really big campaign that they did of like loving yourself, or like I'm gonna look this up before like, you know,
I'm not sure I know what is Dove?
Like the soap company?
Oh, Dove. Sorry,
Their most famous marketing campaign is Campaign for Real Beauty.
Yeah.
And it launched 2004 to challenge unrealistic body beauty standards, featuring diverse real women instead of like models. I don't think you've like, I don't know if you guys remember, but this was a very old campaign.
Yeah.
And that like that's the campaign. So anything that they do has to match that sort of campaign or whatever that goal is, right, of that campaign. So in terms of like marketing for a brand, it's a different social media for a brand, it's a different like sector of the hierarchy of a brand. It has its like own little team, and sometimes we make videos against the campaign, sometimes we just like have to keep the energy going and the boat afloat, you know what I mean? And we just make content, but they all have something to do with like a goal in mind of like, hey, we're making this video so people can go and download this report. We're making this video so we can get a lot of views, because it's like, you know, Wicked's coming out, so we need to create against Wicked. Marketers love Wicked, and people love talking about Wicked, and you know, like it's a cultural event that happens within the internet sphere, so we make against that. And it just like really honestly depends of like what type of creator you are. Like you might not be one of those creators that makes videos or memes or whatever for cultural events, but you might be a creator that like, I do really well explaining products, so I'm going to sit in my office and make a fun, engaging, like YouTube style video about explaining a product or a feature or whatever the case is. So it's very different. At my second agency, I was a copywriter, so that's where like writing and marketing sort of came to play here of like, how can we show up realistically on like Twitter, X, LinkedIn, you know, platforms where you do write, or sometimes like writing like a caption of an Instagram or a TikTok reel, or writing like if you see photos and they're called like carousels, so there's like multiple images and sometimes they educate, so it's like what are they going to say in each frame, or like what is every video is going to say, like a little super up top where it like explains the video of like what you're watching, like POV, or like when my mom went da da da, you know, it explains the video. So like I started writing those, and then I became a ghostwriter too for executives. So like being an executive, having different voices of people and like writing for them with them about like a certain event. I was like, okay, like I wasn't there, so like what do I write? Like what is it? So that's where like writing has been very helpful for me, in terms of both like marketing and my love for writing and making money out of writing, but in a very strange marketing business corporate way.
Yeah, it's really cool though how you kind of get to like express your creativity in like multiple different ways, you know,
Right.
like all these different things that you're doing. It's all just writing and creativity, but in different formats. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I get so like precious about it too. And I'm like, Paulina, relax. It's literally like a 4-second video. Like, you don't need to like be so crazy about it. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I'm gonna like relax. Because like at the same time you're working with somebody else and I'm creating content for somebody else. So it's like if they like it, so be it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas like my bookseller content, my bookstore content, it's a lot less precious. Like I don't need 70 million reviews. Nobody really looks at it in that way of like, oh, let's bring this to this person. I think that's another misconception, or people just don't know about it. When you see like, call it like a shitty post or like a whatever post, or like posts that are like kind of a little out there and weird, and they're like, oh, that's a social media intern. I'm like, no, that is a person that's been in this business for like 5 years, and that post probably took 2 months to make and get approved and like go, you know what I mean? And they're just like, you just think that we just like randomly got on our phone and like, let's start posting for the brand. It's like, no, like that's interesting. We're gonna like this like people have to see this, you know. And like take Sydney Sweeney's campaign for example of what was it? Not Gap.
Was it American Eagle?
American Eagle.
American Eagle, right? Because
Yeah.
No, Aerie.
Was it Aerie? I don't know.
One of those.
Whatever. Everybody knows that one. But like that campaign didn't just go out like a day or two after. It wasn't like, let's create a thing like 2 seconds. Like no, like 70 million people have to have seen that before it went live. You know what I mean? Like you start working for campaigns like that like months in advance.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get very granular, and within social media you can have your own campaign too. That's another thing as well. Like it doesn't have to match exactly what the brand campaign is, but that's another added to the job description.
Yeah, I was thinking about like certain like fast food chains that I don't like really support, but like you know, like they really present like a very like casual, like I don't know, trendy way.
Yeah.
Of being on
and
social
like,
media.
No, like that was discussed of like that's how we're gonna show up. And they probably have creators of their own that like make whatever they make, and then there's some person's like, that's genius, let's post it, like you know. Let's do it. And it's also so different working in-house versus like an agency, where you're basically, an agency's like contracting but in a totally different way, but like way that you don't own. Like my contract is like my name, my sort of business, like self-employment, whereas like an agency is basically just outsourcing in a way, whereas like in teams you're working within one team, so you have to be like united on one front to work within that instead of like outsourcing. So it's so interesting, like working in-house, contracting, agency for yourself too. It's a whole thing. I have not cracked what my brand is online quite yet. But again, I'm like, I don't really care. Like I'll make this video and whatever, like people see it. Like and I should probably be more strategic with it and more business aligned, but I'm like, I think so business every single day. Like if I want to post this TikTok or the story of me crashing out or me eating chocolate cake, like I'll make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like that's the kind of content I like.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Lose my shit and then be like, it's all fine, everything's so great.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now preparing for rapid fire questions.
The first question is, what is your favorite rom-com and why?
Ooh. Okay, so one thing about me, I don't have a favorite of anything. I don't have a favorite color, favorite show. Like I like too many things just to pick one thing.
Yeah.
So I might name like a list of things. 13 going on 30, weirdly enough.
Great one.
Obsessed.
The Holiday is like my favorite one too. Also like rom-coms. Is it okay if I say TV shows instead of like films?
Yeah.
Okay, so like my favorite rom-com is when it's not a rom-com and they have a romantic story involved in it. Like I loved Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like the essence of the show isn't romance, but like, you know, it's kind of like Vampire Diaries too, where like people get with, you know, I'm like, yes, you know, like I love those types of stories. Or rom-coms, because it just adds so much character. It also gets me through some of the story. I'm like, I need to see them. And where are they? Like, I'm like, you know, like freaking out.
Oh.
You know what I'm super excited about? The People We Met on Vacation adaptation on Netflix. God, I can't wait for that to come out.
Emily Henry, Empire.
Yes.
All the adaptations are coming.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so what is your favorite rom-com trope to write if you've incorporate those into your scripts?
Yes. Weirdly enough, I do. I noticed that, and I've gotten a lot of feedback of just like, you always incorporate romance. I'm like, yeah, that's what people tune in for. Come on. So like my favorite trope in my script are inverted love stories. So like love stories where they're not supposed to be in love, but like they like low-key love each other, which is like weird. I don't like a friends to lovers, because to me, I don't know what it is. I like to distinct the two. Like, you're either a friend or you're a lover. You can't be both. Like, I don't know why. It just doesn't quite work for me. I do love I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I'll say, you know, like the fuck it trope of like they're arguing or something, or they're like dismissing their like passion for each other, and they're like, fuck it. And I'm like, it gets me going at like 3 a.m. I'm like,
And they like
That's a
make
good
out.
one.
Yeah. I'm like,
love that. You know, an
Oh.
example of that is in Hitch. Like, if we want to make an example, like where he like throws the inhaler down right before he kisses Allegra. Anyway.
It's like literally like, why are we denying that we like each other? You're literally right in front of my face. I also write dark romance sometimes. So like, this is also like book tropes, but I think they can also like relate back to like movie rom-coms. Is like Don't Touch My Wife or something like that, or like it was like an arranged marriage, and then like he has to like protect her, and he's like, don't touch her. And I'm like, oh, okay. And sometimes like the one bed trope too. I'm like, that if you do that right, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a big one.
What are your favorites?
Ooh, I mean, enemies to lovers is always probably my top answer.
Ooh, interesting.
I love a peer pressure kiss. I think I've talked about that. Or that, like, you know, when like everyone like thinks they're together. This is also kind of a fake relationship, and they're
yes,
like in Irish.
I love that too.
What is it? Leap Year, where like they're like kiss her, and then like anyway, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I think I was gonna say fake relationship might be my favorite one, or some kind of like fun.
We need to like discuss why.
Psychoanalyze why.
I've been in a lot of fake relationships.
You're just like, why do I like a fake relationship?
Yeah, right.
I think it's because they like, you know, like you're forced to see that person every day, and you're like, huh, or like it's kind of like, huh, I didn't quite expect to like you in that way. You know, I think there's like a see me for who I am underneath.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Am I correct? I have no idea.
No. Okay, what is a favorite outfit of yours from a rom-com?
Oh, I think honestly the classic 13 Going on 30, that dress.
That's
love it.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Amazing.
I think that's like the most iconic one. I mean, there's like they make actual Halloween costumes for that now.
On when you turn 30, I feel like that's a common thing that people buy now.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite rom-com line or moment?
The only one that's coming to mind is like, this is the skin of a killer, Bella.
We love Twilight.
I love that moment.
That's such a good moment.
That's a great moment. Okay, so have you seen any rom-coms recently that you would recommend?
Not recently, I would say, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Kind of the opposite answer we always get.
Yeah.
They need to come out. Wait, no, that's a lie. I did see one that wasn't great, unfortunately, in my opinion. But like I get it, you know, respect the craft and everything. God, it
I'm
like
curious
my
what it
last
was.
Yeah, I know.
What did you say?
You
The
would
last
recommend it, or
no? I mean, it's like cheesy, but like it's not like The Last Oxford Years, I think it's called.
Oh, my Oxford year.
My
We went on a
Oxford
rant
year.
about that one on the show.
I doesn't recommend it.
When I like my friend put it on and I'm like, what the hell are we watching? Like, what is this? Like, it had like a good-ish concept and then it like wasn't. And I don't know if it was like, I think they had some sort of chemistry. Like, it had potential to be like really good. And then it like wasn't. And I'm like, what? And I like I'm in the middle, I'm like, can we just like turn this off? And I'm like, no, like it's so bad that it's good. You know, like I want to keep watching it to see, and it's gonna aggravate me when it's done. And then you're just like, interesting. But it's you know, my opinion. Sorry, whoever made that, but you know, you did your best. It's
yeah.
If money didn't matter, what is a rom-com you'd make?
I'm like, I'm looking at a house, and I'm like, I would buy a house. So I'm like, okay, maybe it has something to do with a house.
Yeah, buying a house as a
buy
millennial.
a house, but I like my dream. Like I know we build sets and everything, but like my dream is to actually make a movie or a show like actually indoors of a house. Like I don't know, I don't want to restage it. Like I don't know, there's an essence of a house. But I also weirdly enough like playing into the idea of like a weekend sort of script, so like the love story only happens within like 3 days instead of like a period of time. And I would love to do it like internationally. Money didn't exist, so I would do it internationally. And like most of it on like on a plane or like international, we just like, you know, do it all outside or like indoors. I don't know. I think that's kind of intriguing to me. I don't know how I went from travel to a house. I don't know how I got there, but I did.
That'd be good.
Okay, what are you working on now? Like what's on the horizon, and like where can people, you know, follow you or like see what you're working on?
I'm working on everything all at once. Every day I'm working on something. In terms of writing, I haven't really gone into it because of the podcast I'm out now, but like again, this goes back to like the discipline thing. Like maybe if I spent 30 minutes a day writing, it would be done. But I want to create next up is a like folklore script. It's kind of a little bit horror, which I've never written horror before, but I'm kind of into it. Of course, like my dream is to create an audio drama. I had to pivot business-wise. Like I did crowdfund for a story to be or a pilot to be made, and I didn't make the cut, but that's okay. I was like, whatever. I don't know why every time I try to release something, the world becomes like crazy, and like I'm like, hi, and like I have to be like, hi, can you please donate $5? Like I know the world's a mess, but like please donate $5 to this cause, to this project, please. Like it's so weird, but I'm doing it, but it always happens somehow. So like I do want to produce my own story one day. Hopefully the podcast I have now called Behind the Murals sort of like elevate it a little bit more and like raise awareness of like my mission and what I'm trying to do. The dream is to buy a script and produce somebody else's. Like I would love to do that one day. You know, money again, if money wasn't an issue, I would do that. And then yeah, I think that's kind of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like what I'm kind of doing, and what I plan to do. But yeah, stream my new podcast, please, so I can go and make the story I want to make, please.
Yeah, we'll put it all in the show notes. And yeah, all the links will be there. So cool. It was so nice to finally meet you, Paulina.
I know. So nice to chat with you.
Yeah, it's been so much fun.
This has been an episode of When Isabel Met Aviva. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to stay up to date with our episodes, please subscribe. Bonus points if you leave us a positive review. You can follow us on Instagram at whenisabelmetaviva and on Bluesky at whenisabelmetaviva.
You can also find our personal profiles on Instagram and Bluesky too. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need any advice about your screenwriting career, or if you just want to obsess over rom-coms with us.
And don't forget to watch and write as many rom-coms as possible.